I'm Yana, and welcome to your Rise and Shine yoga practice. Today's practice is focused on yoga for digestion. So let's start standing and get right into it. Placing your feet about hip-width distance apart, you're going to place your hands on your waist, and we'll begin with some side stretches. So bringing some oxygen and bringing some blood flow into these internal organs, into our stomach, our colon, and all of the other organs that are here that do so much detoxifying and processing for us. Especially as we're moving into the spring season, it's really good to bring in new oxygen and really think about revitalizing, and this is when we can support already what's happening in nature, this natural detoxification process of the spring. So we can grow into fresh new buds for the summer. So inhaling in, exhaling to the left-hand side. Bending over, and you'll feel the stretch all the way from your big toe all the way up through your side body. Inhaling back to the center, exhaling to the left side. Inhaling back to the center, exhaling in the opposite direction. Really try to ground down here through the corners of your feet, through your big toes, and make sure that as you bend from one side to another, you allow the opposite toe to lift off the ground here. And inhaling to the center, exhaling to the left, expelling air as you're bending into the side body. Trying to keep the chin parallel to the floor. It's a really great side stretch, as well as beginning to invigorate and waking up the kidneys that lie on the back side of the body as well. So we've been talking about in this series of classes, the idea of the body being this 360 motion, a 360 vehicle. So often, because our eyes are in the front, we think of only sometimes of the focus being on the front side of our body. So we also here are really bringing our attention and our focus into the side body. Exhaling left, exhaling to the side. Two more each side. And let that go. Beautiful. Give yourself a little shake out, bringing the hands together. And we'll do that same motion, but now with the legs placed together, inhaling, grabbing a hold of the left wrist with the right fingertips. Inhale, lifting a few centimeters out of the waist and pushing the hip out to the side, grounding down through the left heel, and bringing the hands over to the right side. So this banana shape that we're making here. You can think about bringing your gaze down to your right toes if that's comfortable for you. Make sure that you're nice and strong so you're not a leaning tower of Pisa here, that you don't lose your balance. Equal weight in both heels. Nice deep inhalation. On the final exhalation, release. Let that go. Sweeping the arms down, inhaling back up. And this time grabbing a hold of the right wrist with the left fingertips. Inhale, reaching a few centimeters out of the waist. And exhale, bending over, the hands move towards the left side of the body, grounding into the right heel. You can keep your gaze focused on one place in front of you, or you can find that point on the floor by looking down at your left heel. Noticing the opening between the side intercostal muscles, those little muscles that run between the ribs. Breathing fresh air and oxygen into the right side as you're compressing the organs on the left side of the body. Compressing the liver where the pancreas is. And inhaling back up. Actually, the liver's on the right side. but that is the pancreas is on the left side. So inhaling the hands up and exhaling the hands back down. Beautiful. We'll try again, walking up to the front of the mat, coming into a vinyasa here of gathering the energy up above your head. Exhale, waving, bending at the waist forward, diving forward, soft bend in the knees, and inhale and lifting up. Exhale, releasing the back forward, bending the knees, grounding through the heels. Inhale, reaching the arms up towards the side. We'll take a few small vinyasas here, coordination of breath and movement. So inhaling, sweeping the arms up, eagle arms. Exhale, sweeping the arms out to the side as you slowly bend at the waist. Releasing all the breath as you come forward, bending the knees, inhaling here. Exhale, sweeping the hands up the front of the legs, pulling up on the kneecaps as a reminder. Inhaling the shoulder blades back. Beautiful. And then exhaling, bending, diving down forward. You can bend the knees here. And then nice and strong through the heels. Inhale, opening up the arms, eagle arms, sweeping them up above the head, looking up towards your hands. Exhaling, hands back towards heart center. So this is just beginning to oxygenate the bloodstream. Inhaling up, sweeping arms to the side. Hinging at the hips. As we begin to warm up the body, bending the knees here. Drawing the hands up the front side of the legs, drawing up on the kneecaps. Placing the hands on the front of the thighs. Giving a nice deep inhalation into the back side of the body, and then on the exhale, cascading, bending the knees, diving forward. Inhale, coming all the way up, strong through the legs. Energy through the hands. And hands pressing equidistant, equal weight back through the center line of the body. We'll do that one more time. Inhale, reaching, gathering up, drawing belly button back towards spine. Take, exhale, swan diving forward and bending at the hips at the same time. The hands reach down towards the floor, bending the knees. Inhale, sweeping up, drawing energy up the front side of the legs. Hands come to the thighs. And we'll just hang out here for a second in this flat back position. Lifting up on the kneecaps. And taking a nice side stretch here. So placing the right hand onto the left thigh, inhaling the left arm up into the air. Breathing here. One inhalation and one exhalation. If that's too much, lift your hand up. You can move your hand behind your back and grab a hold of the right side of the thigh. And on the exhale, release and let that go. Hanging forward, bending the knees, letting the body rest on the thighs. Okay, on your next inhalation, lifting the energy up the front of the legs, coming to that flat back position, shoulders cascading away from the ears. And then crossing the left hand onto the right thigh, lifting up on your kneecaps, shifting the weight forward just a little bit here, and then inhaling the right hand up into the air. You might notice one shoulder is different than the other. And then drawing the right hand behind, grabbing a hold of the left side of the thigh here. Nice and strong through the belly. Deep inhalation and exhalation. What's happening to the breath? Notice. See if you can calm down or even slow down the breath. And on the next exhalation, letting the arms go, releasing, sliding back down the legs. Beautiful. And then inhale, straightening the legs, strong through the arms, sweeping the arms up and above, back to the center line of the body. Beautiful. We'll try that one last time here. Inhale up. Cascading arms, bending at hips. Chest comes down towards legs, lift up kneecaps. Bending knees. Sweeping arms up the front of the leg to flat back. Shoulders back. Exhale. Bending the knees, coming down. Bringing the hands in front of the feet. And then dropping the right foot back. And if you'd like to, you could keep this right knee lifted, depending on, there's options. Or you can place the right knee down on the ground. Beautiful. Inhaling up. Arms coming up into nice tall lunge position. Inhaling the hands up, shoulder blades come back. Drawing the arms back into cactus position. Breathing into your proud chest here. For 3 breaths. Inhaling in through the belly. See if you can square off your hips here. Keeping a nice 90-degree angle in the front knee. Beautiful. Inhaling the arms up. Exhaling the arms back to cactus position. Pulling up on your pelvic floor, inhaling up. Elongating out of the side body and exhaling the arms back down. Beautiful. The last time here, inhaling up. And exhale, bringing your hands down to the ground. And if you are keeping your knee on the ground, you're going to press your right arm into the floor and lifting the left arm up into the air. The same for if your knee is lifted. You can look up towards your left thumb if that's good for your neck, or looking down at right thumb. Squeezing the knees into the midline of the body. Using the breath to tone, oxygenate, and bring fresh energy into the digestive organs here as they are getting a little squeeze. On your next exhale, releasing the hand down to the ground, and then coming back, bringing your right knee down to the ground if it's not down to the ground already, and then inhale, coming back into your runner's lunge. Lifting your toes up, coming up onto your fingertips, and exhale, if it's comfortable, cascading front body over left leg, squeezing elbows in towards midline. See if you can draw that left hip bone back in the socket a little bit here. Breathe deep into the belly. With every inhalation, filling up more oxygen into the backside of the body here. Every exhalation, cascading maybe a few centimeters further down towards this left leg. Beautiful. One more inhalation here. And on the exhale, pressing yourself back up into your fingertips, bending the left knee, drawing the weight forward, pulling the hands forward. Inhale, coming up onto your right toe, and lifting the left leg back into a downward dog position. So pressing both hands evenly into the ground. The toes might be nice and high as the heels are high in the air, but the toes are pressed into the ground actually. And you could bend the right knee and bend the left knee. Just giving yourself a little walking out your dog here. See if you can bring the eyes of the elbows in towards each other, making more room for the head in this downward dog position. Now you might walk your heels out and pigeon toe your toes in a little bit here, walking your hands back another inch or two, and then inhaling your right hand up into the air and reaching it over towards your left heel, looking underneath your left armpit. Inhaling and exhaling, grounding down into the feet,
equidistance, equal weight between the hands and the feet. Inhaling, belly button comes back towards the spine in the exhale. You're doing great. This is such a great side twist for your internal organs here. And then on the next inhale, reaching the right hand forward, and then bringing the knees down to the ground, toes come together, knees spread wide and far apart, and coming down for a second into child's pose to release. If you feel like you need more, you could stay in your downward dog, but there's no shame in the game. Let's catch our breath. Strengthen our resolve here. And get back to it. Using the power of yang, the movement in the body, to then quickly surrender to the power of yin, the flowing of yin. And then walking the hands back up on your next inhalation, bringing the knees back to parallel, and then coming back into your downward dog. Inhaling up, and exhaling back. Beautiful. And then pressing into the right hand, right palm, lifting the left arm up into the air this time, and then crossing the left palm over towards, perhaps it grabs onto the left leg, the left calf, maybe even the left ankle, depends on where you are, and then looking underneath your right shoulder. Equal distance, equal weight. Thinking about pressing evenly into the hands and the feet to lift the hips up into the air. Filling up the air as the lungs are below the heart, or the head is below the heart here. But the lungs being below the hips actually is allowing for deeper breaths here. On the next inhalation, taking your deepest breath of the day. Next exhalation, belly button back towards spine, unfurling, and bringing the left hand forward here. Beautiful. Then releasing the knees down, or you could stay in your downward dog, toes come together, and then coming back into child's pose. Taking 3 breaths here. Seeing how quickly can you surrender. Beginning to even out the breath here. If the mind begins to wander, you can give it the task of a 3-count breath. So inhaling very slowly, counting slowly. 3, 2, 1, inhalation. And then using a 3, 2, 1 on the exhalation, or wherever you are in your cycle of breath. Inviting in that even 3-count breath. Beautiful. And if you are in your child's pose, walking your hands back up and coming into the downward dog. We'll take 1 inhalation and 1 exhalation here. Bending the knees, and then crisscrossing the right foot over the left, left foot over the right, taking a nice sassy walk up your mat into your hands, come parallel to your feet. Inhaling up into flat back. Exhale, cascading forward. Here, grabbing a hold of the elbows and just letting the neck hang nice and loose and free. Beautiful. Seeing if you can even put your weight into the heels as you lean the front body over the thighs, releasing the neck and head here. And getting the biofeedback, the sensation of each breath, the belly presses into the tops of the legs here. Beautiful. Exhale, releasing the arms, letting that go. And on the next inhalation, slowly straightening the legs, And as you straighten the legs, rolling up the spine, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, belly button back towards spine, shoulders come up, rotating up and down and back, 3, 2, 1, the head comes parallel to the floor, and just see if you can stand here without fidgeting, pressing into the feet, finding one point in front of you, palms facing out towards the front. Stabilizing the breath, stabilizing the mind in this Tadasana or mountain pose, still like a mountain. So using this opportunity, once energy is built up in the body, to not fidget and not release it, but really use this grounding of the practice to allow our focus to bring us into a place of stillness. Beautiful. One more breath here. Digesting that thought, and then inhaling the arms up above the head. Exhale, cascading forward, sweeping out in eagle arms. Micro bend in the knees. Inhale, coming up to flat back. Arms sweep up the front of the legs, coming in, shoulders down and back. Exhaling the hands down. And then this time, bringing back the right foot. Inhaling the right foot back. Oh, I'm sorry. Actually, inhaling the left foot back. I got all zened out. And then you can bring the left knee down onto the ground, or staying up in your runner's lunge pose. On your next inhalation, bringing the hands up above the head. Shoulders coming back and down. Opening the arms out into cactus arms, nice and strong. Squeezing the knees together here. Try to even out the hip. Belly button comes back to spine. Breathing into your nice, proud chest. See if you can sink down into that right knee a little bit further if you are up in the full expression of the runner's lunge. If not, on the floor, making sure you're pressing the top of the foot into the ground, evening off the hips. One more inhalation, opening up the arms towards the sky. Exhaling, arms down. Inhale, straightening arms. Exhale, cactus arms. One last inhalation up. Exhaling down to cactus arms. Beautiful. Bringing the left arm down onto the ground, and then cascading the right hand up into the air. Looking up towards the right fingertips. Making sure that pressing both knees, left knee presses into the ground, or the left toe, if the knee is up, lifting into the kneecap, supporting the kneecap, pulling up on the musculature around the patella and the knee joint. If this is too much to look up towards your hands, you can look down towards your left fingertips. As you compress the organs here, the digestive organs, the internal organs. One more inhalation. On the exhalation, drawing the right hand down, framing the right foot, bringing the left knee down to the ground if it's not already there, and shifting the weight back. Coming into your reverse runner's lunge, toes lift up off of the ground, inhaling. And cascading the body forward. Pressing into the fingertips, or if the hands, palms can reach the floor. Squeezing the elbows in towards the midline. Remember to breathe into the sides of the body here. Perhaps you inhale, pressing up just slightly into the pose, pressing into the hands, and on the exhale, cascading the legs, the head forward, the body down towards the leg. Inhale, micro press up. Exhale, bending the elbows, cascading forward. Or perhaps you just hang out. I like this dynamic inhalation of the push up and the exhalation, because you get a little bit more compression in the internal organs each time during the exhalation. So one more dynamic breath here, wherever you are. Beautiful. And shifting the weight forward onto bringing the right knee forward into a right angle, into a 90-degree angle. Inhaling. Beautiful. And then lifting up the kneecap. Pressing into the hands. And on your next inhalation, drawing the belly button up towards the spine as you lift the right foot. You might have to just gently pull it back, or lifting the right leg up into the sky. Left heel comes down, right hand heel comes down onto the ground, and back to downward dog. Taking 3 deep breaths here. Or if you've had enough, you can come back into your child's pose. Pressing equal weight into the hands and into the toes at the same time. Seeing if you can use the fullest inhalation, back to that idea of the 3 count inhalation. Or if you notice the heart is has been beating fast, you can slow it down with a 4 count exhalation to extend out and slow down the heart rate. One more breath here. Beautiful, and on the exhalation, bending the knees down. If you're in your child's pose, beginning to walk back up. And then coming back down onto your knees, placing the feet in front of you. Pressing up nice and strong, tall over the back, tall through the back. Inhaling your proud chest up. Beautiful. And now inhaling the right knee up, grabbing hold of the backside of the leg. You can make the foot about hip-width distance apart. And then inhaling the right hand up, hooking it on the left in the inside of that right elbow inside the right knee. And then exhale the left hand up, exhaling the left hand down. A little reverse, looking over behind your left shoulder. Gentle compression in the belly. And noticing, can you really press, use the support of the arm behind the back. You might want to exhale out the mouth. Getting any stale air out of the body through the mouth exhalation here. A lot of times when you're doing digestive things, you might have burping or just natural body functions that happen. So it's actually really to think about switching up your breath when it feels necessary to inhale in through the nose and then exhaling out through the mouth to release any stagnation. Okay, then untwirling that, releasing forward, grabbing underneath the back of the right thigh,
Releasing it down, and nice and tall. Inhale, grabbing behind the left thigh. On the inhale, exhalation, bending the left thigh. And inhaling, left arm up into the air, left elbow inside of right knee. And then using the strength of the left knee to press into this left arm here. Nice and strong through the hands, strong through the fingertips. Then inhale, the right hand's up into the air. Exhaling, bringing it down as a wall behind, as if you're pressing or sitting up against a wall. Active through the right toes. Right toes are shining up towards the sky. Left fingertips are shining up towards the sky. And on the inhalation, begin to think of twisting from the midpoint of the body. So the twist begins at the lower belly, moves to the middle ribs, and then all the way up to the top of the lungs. Looking over the right shoulder. Eyes behind you are the last thing. And releasing the hand on the exhalation. Right hand comes back up into the sky. Releasing the left arm, grabbing back, behold, behind the left leg, and placing the left down towards the ground. We will end with one final pose. A forward fold here, so moving any fleshy parts out from underneath your sit bones. If you tend to have a lot of tightness in your hips, you could even roll up your mat here and place it underneath your sit bones to give you a little bit more of a lift. It's very subtle, but it will create some more space here. So inhaling the arms up, exhaling the arms out to the side, and then reaching forward. Feet about hip width distance apart. You can grab hold of your legs, thighs, wherever you may be is perfectly beautiful and right for your body right now. So inhaling your chest forward, and exhale, bending the elbows and letting the head fall down. The head and the neck release. Coming into this passive final resting pose. If you are feeling like, well, I'm not, as stretchy as I am sometimes, or this doesn't feel so great in my body, I feel like I could do more here. I would just encourage you to just begin to surrender into the breath, or you can move into this dynamic movement of placing the hands onto the floor and inhaling up, pressing into the hands that we were doing before, and the forward lunge, the runner's lunge, and then exhale, bending the arms and letting them cascade forward. On the full exhalation, belly back toward the spine. And maybe on the next inhalation, the fingertips spider a few more centimeters forward. And then inhale, pressing up into the hands, straightening the arms, lifting the body up off of the belly, up off of the legs. And then on the next exhalation, bending the elbows, cascading forward. Forehead comes down towards legs. Releasing in the neck and shoulders. On the next inhalation, again, walking the fingertips maybe a few more centimeters forward. Just playing with what gives you the most spaciousness, what feels the least constrictive in the body here. You might even begin to sway back and forth. I know sometimes if I have tightness in my hips or tightness in my shoulders, it just sway here. Rock it out from one side to another, even get the neck and the head into it. Just playing around, maybe even rotating the shoulders up and down and back, alternating right shoulder back,
Left shoulder circles back, right shoulder circles back, left shoulder circles back. Beautiful, one more breath here. And exhaling, walking the hands back up. And coming back into a seated Sukhasana or easy pose. You might even finish in a resting lying pose if that's where you would like to end your practice today. But wherever you are, placing one hand on your beautiful heart and one hand on your beautiful belly. It gets a lot of slack sometimes. This beautiful center part of our body that holds all of our digestive organs, our liver, our heart. So much is happening here in the center part. So as you gently close your eyes, bowing your head down towards your heart, maybe even making a vow to yourself today that you will just trust your gut. Trust the innate intelligence that comes from this center part of your body, the centered part of your being. Give thanks to you for showing up for your healing practice today. If you found benefits from this practice, perhaps you might send a little love off to someone who could use some today. Or perhaps all of this love needs to be centered and focused on you, who gives so much all the time. One more deep inhalation. Deep exhalation. Placing the hands in front of the heart, lifting the head back up, nice and proud, breathing into your chest. Namaste and Ashe.